May God be gracious to us and bless us and make his face shine on us, so that your ways may be known on earth, your salvation among all nations. May the peoples praise you, God. May all the peoples praise you. May the nations be glad and sing for joy, for you rule the peoples with equity and guide the nations of the earth. May the peoples praise you, God. May all the peoples praise you. The land yields its harvest. God, our God, blesses us. May God bless us still so that all the ends of the earth will fear him. This psalm is a heartfelt prayer and praise, expressing a deep longing for divine favor and the universal recognition of God's sovereignty. At its core, it emphasizes the hope that God will bestow his grace and blessings upon the people. The psalmist begins by asking God to be gracious and to bless the people, invoking the image of God's face shining upon them. This vivid imagery suggests not just a benign presence, but a powerful light of guidance, warmth, and approval. It's a request for positive divine attention, reminiscent of a father lovingly looking over his children. The request for God's favor isn't purely for personal gain, but rather serves a larger purpose. The psalmist wishes that through the manifestation of God's grace upon them, the ways and the salvation of God will be known across the earth, transcending boundaries and reaching all nations. This universal vision points to the hope that others, witnessing the blessings and favor bestowed upon the psalmist's people, will come to understand, respect, and honor God's will and power. It's as if the blessings received by one group are intended to serve as a testimony to the broader world, demonstrating the benevolent and equitable nature of God's rule. As the psalm unfolds, it transitions into a communal prayer for praise and joy among all peoples. The psalmist implores that all peoples praise God, not just those directly receiving the blessings. There's a repeated emphasis on communal praise, suggesting that the recognition and worship of God should be a widespread and collective experience. Such a broadened appeal to all peoples underscores the theme of inclusivity and unity under the divine rule. The psalmist envisions a world where nations are glad and sing for joy, indicating a universal rejoicing that stems from God's just and equitable rule. The divine rulership described here is marked by fairness, equity, and guidance, implying that God's rule is different from earthly rulers. It's not characterized by oppression or favoritism, but by righteousness and fairness, qualities that should inspire joy and song among the nations. Reiterating the call for praise, the psalmist emphasizes yet again that all peoples should praise God. The repetition serves to reinforce the psalm's main directive: universal worship and acknowledgement of God's authority and goodness. This repetition can be seen as a literary device designed to leave a lasting impression on the reader or listener about the importance of communal appreciation for God's works. The psalm also touches on the theme of prosperity, as it mentions the land yielding its harvest. This is both a literal and metaphorical indication of the blessings received. On one hand, it refers to agricultural abundance, a crucial aspect of sustenance and survival for the people of the psalm's context. This harvest is not merely the result of human labor, but is seen as a direct blessing from God. On the other hand, the yield of the harvest can also symbolize spiritual and communal prosperity and fulfillment that comes from living under divine guidance and receiving God's favor. It illustrates the tangible outcomes of divine blessing, showcasing how God's grace translates into real-world abundance and prosperity. Finally, the psalm concludes with an aspiration for God's continuous blessing on the people, with the ultimate goal that all the ends of the earth will live in reverential awe of Him. This concluding plea circles back to the initial request, framing the entire psalm within a cycle of asking for blessings, receiving them, benefiting from them, and extending the knowledge of God's goodness to the furthest reaches of the earth. The reference to the ends of the earth suggests a global mission, expressing a desire that the knowledge and fear of God's name spread universally, so that all creation may come to respect and honor God. This psalm, therefore, encapsulates themes of divine favor, communal praise, equitable rule, prosperity, and universal acknowledgement of God's majesty. It intertwines personal blessing with a collective vision, urging for a response of global praise and recognition of God's equitable and benevolent rule. Its timeless message calls for an acknowledgement of the divine in both personal and communal spaces, emphasizing the role of blessings not just for individual upliftment, but for the elevation of humankind in its entirety toward the acknowledgement of divine truth.